practicing on several very large projects in China because we built several individual buildings to test the concept of Shanshui City. Now we're working with several cities in China on the master plan, so we can apply this environmental concept into very large urban scale. So each project, for example, in Hengqin and another one in Nanjing, it's like a million square meter with a lot of urban functions in it. So I think by doing this, we can go from very small scale, also very large urban scale. The Milan has a very beautiful historical buildings. During the Milan Design Week, there are a lot of people coming, and I see many friends and our designers, critics, artists. Actually, one of the projects this year, we designed this a space inside one of the very traditional courtyard. I think to create this dialogue between new, modern, and the tradition, the old architecture is very interesting to me. So we call this project Fifth Ring. So it's like putting a mirror which is reflecting pool water surface in the courtyard with a floating ring in the air. So if you walk through the water, you will start to kind of having dialogue with the sky. So we create this new space above you, also underneath. Every time I come to Milan, when I look at those great traditional architecture, I start to think, because all the traditional buildings, they talk about the religion. They also talking about the values, how they think about themselves, or how they think about the nature, how they think about the sky. I think this dialogue is very dynamic here in the city. A lot of people say Italian food and the Chinese food are very similar. But actually, I find I like noodles in Chinese food, and Italian food has pasta. So talking about architecture, I find some traditional buildings in the village, for example, they're very similar because both of them, they start from community and they have to fit into the nature context very well, either in the mountains or in the rice field. I think those architecture really inspiring actually for us that currently only live in the cities. Those architecture very much about the nature, about rebuilding the relationship between human and the environment. Even the courtyard, I remember one Chinese writer, he said the beauty of Beijing city was about the courtyard, which is the void. The void in which inside you have trees and the birds, a flower, and the family. That's the love and the emotion. And that's the real thing about the architecture. So he doesn't think the physical object is the architecture, but the life inside the space is architecture. I think I find a lot of courtyards here. That's why this inspiration comes. When you're inside the courtyard, you have a full facade, define the space, but at the same time to frame the space above you, which is the sky. So you want to communicate to the sky, which also representing a larger universe, the environment around human being. So I think the way we look at the nature is very similar.